The movie begins with a child named Jack, who is at his uncle's house during the Christmas celebrations. Suddenly, Jack steals the key to a room in the house from his uncle and goes to open the room in front of his friends. The room is filled with many gifts, and at that moment, Jack tells his friends that Santa Claus is not real and that all these gifts are for the people. They are the ones who brought it, and at that time, Jack's friends give him sweets. And it appears that Jack had a bet with them that he would prove to them that Santa Claus is not real, and he won the bet. And at that time, Jack's uncle comes and asks everyone to go down to see Jack. And after that, Jack's uncle blames him because he told his friends that Santa Claus is not here. They know that the presence of Santa Claus makes children happy and at the peak of happiness. But Jack is determined that Santa Claus is just a legend and that he does not go around children's houses and distribute gifts to them. So he prefers them to naughty children. But Jack does not care about what his uncle says and is still convinced of what is in his mind. After 30 years, Jack grows up, and he is walking in the street. He steals a cup of coffee from a woman. Then he steals a newspaper from a person who passes by him. Here we learn that Jack is a con man and a professional hacker, and that he works for anyone who pays him money. It appears that Jack is carrying out a specific mission and goes to stand in front of a technology company and sees the employees exercising in front of the company building. Jack is focused on one of them and suddenly throws the newspaper next to the electrical wires and then spills coffee on the wires, and an electrical short circuit occurs that causes a fire. At that moment, everyone in the place is preoccupied with the fire that happened, and Jack takes advantage of the chaos that occurs and steals the employee's ID card. Then he enters the company and goes to the database and connects there is an encryption device in it so that he can steal the data he wants. Then Jack throws the ID card in the trash and leaves the place and walks in the street proudly because he successfully carried out his mission. At night, we find the real Santa Claus sitting in his mall. Gary and Bite Fleur are hanging out with the kids on Christmas Day, and he is standing next to his guard, whose name is Cal. It seems that Cal doesn't like the behavior of the adults because he sees them stealing things from the mall, in addition to the fact that they fight with each other most of the time. At that time, a group of children come and offer sweets to Santa, and this makes Santa is happy and joyful. And while Santa is leaving the mall, Cal talks to the rest of the security guards to ensure Santa's exit. In the car, Santa tells Cal that he will open the door, and here we know that the stag wants to retire from his job. After that, they arrive at a secret place where there are huge reindeer pulling Santa's sleigh. Santa and Cal ride the sleigh and fly in the sky, and there are fighter planes next to them to protect them during the flight. Then Santa thanks the pilots and screams loudly. And at that moment, the reindeer fly very fast and choose the airspace of planet Earth. At the same time, Jack is in his house and bats. It becomes clear that Jack is not interested in the nature of the data and sends it to the person who assigned him the task. And then this person transfers to Jack the money they agreed upon. And we return to Santa, who opens a portal in space and enters through it into his legendary world. And a very large number of alien creatures appear, and they prepare the gifts that Santa will distribute on the holidays. Christmas and Santa's wife herself helps in preparing these gifts, and at that time, a huge lizard named Garcia appears, and we learn that Garcia is Cal's assistant and is responsible for protecting the mythical world during Cal's absence. And after that, we find Santa training in his room, and Cal enters and hands in his resignation. So he asks Santa about the reason that will make him resigned, especially since he knows that their mission is to make children happy. He says that everyone said that he loves children very much, but the adults are the ones who annoy him. He knows that the list of troublemakers on planet Earth increases every year by 22%, which is a very large rate, and within a few years the planet will be full with the troublemakers, and therefore no one will care about the children and their happiness. Santa tells him that this is the reason he claimed that he will complete his mission and protect the planet Earth from these troublemakers. But the dog is determined in his opinion and tells him that they will not be able to change the nature of people no matter what they do. And he tells him that distributing gifts this year, this will be his last mission. Santa Claus comes to him and tells him that work will be terrible without him. At that time, there's a group of people walking in a certain place in the North Pole, and he stands in front of an invisible wall, and they swallow their leadership. If they find the wall, they will be assured that they will see their work immediately. These people begin In the process of penetrating the wall and facing Santa's world, we find a dog reviewing the security measures with the rest of the security personnel, and suddenly he notices something very strange happening in the house. He goes with the security personnel to check on Santa, but they're surprised they expel this car, but the car is able to escape from them, and at that time, like a dog, he tries with all his might, he delivers the car, and he is able to jump over the car, and he is about to stop it, but he is forced to jump over the car because he was going to hit the body, and then he takes out a small sled from his pocket and hands it a certain ray that increases its size, and then he gets on the sled and continues chasing the car. And at that moment, the car goes outside Santa's world, and he was tasked with chasing her until he could stop her, but he was surprised by a plane in the sky that was flying into Santa's world. He then realized that the car was a deception so that the Santa kidnapping operation would succeed. After that, he returned to the cockpit, where he communicated with a woman named Ziwi, who was the head of an organization that monitors mythical creatures worldwide. And Ziwi learns from Cal that someone hacked the wall of the mythical world and kidnapped Santa. So she becomes very worried and tells Cal that someone hacked the transcontinental surveillance system in the North Pole, and they know that the one who did this is a professional hacker named Jack Wan. And he works with anyone who pays him money, in addition to the fact that the authorities are looking for him because he is accused in many cases, and they decide that they should cooperate together to arrest Jack. The next day, Jack wakes up to a call from his ex-wife, who asks him to go and pick up their son, Dylan, from school. She is very busy today and her husband is traveling, and she also tells him that Dylan has problems at school and he is supposed to be with him at this time. So Jack agrees and goes to pick up Dylan from school. On the way, Dylan tells Jack what happened and tells him that his classmate at school is annoying him all the time. And that's why he hacked the school system and was recorded absent 3 times. But the school administration discovered what Dylan did and punished him. After that, Dylan ruined his friend's bike. And at that time, Jack advised Dylan that when he hacks any system, he should not leave any evidence behind him. After that, Dylan tells Jack that he has a party. He tortures him on the guitar and asks him to attend the party, but Jack apologizes to him and tells him that he is busy and will not be able to come to the party. He gets out of the car sadly, but Jack does not care and returns home. There he finds a group of soldiers attacking him and wanting to arrest him in the house in front of Jack. And he complains that no one is difficult with her. He sleeps and renews his place, and Jack is able to overcome them all and jumps from the window of the house to the house. And then he goes down to the street and tries to escape, but Zooey is waiting for him and makes it difficult with the device that she has, and she stops him. And then Jack wakes up and finds Zooey in front of him. And she tells him that they know that he hacked the transcontinental seismic system, and she asks him to tell her about the person who assigned him this mission. But Jack tells her that all conversations between him and any agent are encrypted, and therefore he does not know the identity of the person who sent him this data. And Zooey knows that Jack is lying and asks her men today they put him inside the box, and then Jack is transferred to the organization's headquarters, and there the soldiers come out of the box, and at that time Zooey tells him that they are an organization that protects the mythical world and keeps it hidden from the real world. So Jack gets out of it and does not believe her words. But he is terrified when he sees Hassam fire coming out of his mouth, and he also sees someone's head. The clip shows him being arrested, and 2 soldiers appear with the head of this creature placed inside a box. Then, Ziwi is taken to a room to talk to him and tells him about the kidnapping that Santa Claus was subjected to. But Jack does not understand her words. However, he tells her that this is something that does not matter to him. At that moment, Cal enters and is very upset with Jack. He calls Garcia to torture Jack and make him confess the truth. As soon as Jack sees Garcia, he is shocked and trembles. Jack knows that there is a list of all the children and troublemakers, and that his name is on this list, and that is the reason. What made Cal and Garcia upset with him, and they want to torture him. Then Garcia grabs Jack forcefully and is about to break his ribs, but Jack kisses them from the intensity of the pain and tells them that he will confess the truth. So Cal signals Garcia to leave him. Then Jack tells them about the location of the mediator who was between him and the agent who assigned him the mission, Fever. They put a tracking device on his leg, so they know where he is if he tries to escape from them. In another place underground, we find Santa locked inside a cell, and the girl who kidnapped him is standing in front of him. As soon as Santa wakes up, this girl tells him that she will do one day what they have not been able to do in years. And you know that she will punish the troublemakers and will talk to them to make the world better. Then she turns on a device that draws Santa's magical power from his body and sings to him. We go back to Cal and Jack, who are in a toy store. At that time, Cal chooses a group of toys, and then they pass through a gate. Magically, she moves to another place, and there Cal puts a toy car on the ground and uses the device he has with him and shows it to a real car. Then, he and Jack get in the car and move on their way to the mediator. While they are on their way, Jack asks Cal about the nature of their work. So he tells him that he is the leader of the legendary organization and his mission is to protect Santa is safe from any harm, and they know that he and everyone with Santa work all year long, so that Santa can distribute gifts on Christmas Eve to all the children of the world. And then they arrive at the place where the medium that Jack dealt with is located and whose name is Ted, but around Ted are members of his guards, and he prevents everyone from if he approaches him. A dog clashes with them and is able to shrink and grow in size and gets rid of them in seconds. Then here Jackal Ted goes. In the secret place, we see that the girl used Santa's magic power and made enchanted glass balls out of it. It appears that she intends to do something specific with them. Her brain, and we go back to Jack and Cal, who asked Ted to tell them about the person who gave them the data, and at that time Ted is shocked when he knows that Jack is the hacker who dealt with him and tells him that he shouldn't have come to this place, and they know that the matter is dangerous, and he kills them to leave immediately from the place is because the agent he knows is evil and can hurt them. But a dog grabs him forcefully and forces him to say the name of this agent. So Ted berates him and tells him that he cannot say her name because she will hear them and will know their location easily. So he says that he is writing her name in the sand. So Tate excelled in his speech, but Jack says the name out loud, and then the girl hears her name and is able to locate them, and suddenly the sky is filled with clouds and Tate starts to convulse and make strange movements and the color of his eyes changes, and he takes pity on Cal and tells him that they haven't met for a long time, and here we know that the girl has penetrated Ted's body, and she is the one talking to Cal at that moment. Cal is shocked when he knows that the one she is talking to is Grilla, the evil Christmas witch, and he asks her to free Santa, but Grilla refuses and tells him that she must finish what she started, and they know that on Christmas Eve, she will get rid of all the people whose names are written on the naughty list. So Cal tries to convince her to back down from her plan, but to no avail. Suddenly, a strange-looking truck emerges from the sea, and 3 ice monsters descend from it, attacking Cal, Jack, and Ted. Jack and Ted quickly run away from them, while Cal engages one of the monsters and manages to split him in half, but the monster regroups. Secondly, at this moment, the monster grabs Cal and is about to kill him, so he removes the carrot from the monster's head, and at that moment the monster disintegrates completely between him, and we go to Jack, who is able to trick this monster and drag him, but because of the explosion, Jack falls into the swimming pool, and another monster comes and tries to break the block of ice into the swimming pool, and Jack burns in it. And then the monster approaches Jack to kill him, but a dog suddenly appears and pulls the carrot from the monster's face and destroys it. And in another place, a person named Aaron appears and gets in his car and finds a gift inside it. And as soon as he opens it, he finds a magic ball that Grilla made, and suddenly Arm disappears, but he does not go to the secret headquarters of Grilla, who gets very angry and tells her men that something is not right. And this is because Aaron's body and the enchanted ball are supposed to be returned to her, and she knows that they must fix the malfunction that happened. And she will try her plan on them. At this time, she has reached the place of Cal and Jack, and when she knows that Grilla, she is the one who kidnapped Santa. She worries and shows Cal her picture on the camera recordings, but Cal tells her that this is not her real appearance because Grilla is 900 years old. At that time, Cal tells Zoe that he has to go to Krampus, Santa's brother, because Krampus and Grilla are on a relationship with some of the past, and that Krampus might be Grilla's partner in what she is doing, and thus Santa might be present in Krampus's castle. And Zoe doesn't agree with Cal's words because this would be very dangerous for him because Krampus is one of Santa's enemies and might hurt him, but they don't have a solution then. Cal and Jack enter through the magic gate again. And at that moment, Jack receives a call from his ex-wife, asking why he refuses to let him attend his son's party. They learn that his son loves him and needs him to be with him on that day. But Jack refuses and realizes that he is busy and does not have time. Then Jack gets in the car. The car is with Cal to go to Krampus, Santa's brother. And at that moment, Cal tells Jack that his son Dylan is a well-behaved and obedient child. And of course, Caleb knows this because they have a list with which they know the good child and the naughty child. So Jack tells him that he is distancing himself from his son because he feels that he is a father it's not good in his way, is that she married a man who is much better than him, and that this would be better for Delilah. So Cal tells him that what he is doing is wrong and that his distance from his father will harm him and will not benefit him. Then they arrive at Krampus Castle, and there Jack asks Cal about the story of Santa and Krampus. So he said that in the past, Santa and Krampus used to work together, but suddenly Krampus decided to make a list and write the names of the naughty children in it and punish them. This made Santa very upset, and he took the list from him. At that time, Krampus left Santa and joined forces with Grilla, who was also making a list of the naughty children, but they left each other after that. There were many problems between them, and then Cal and Jack got out of the car. At that moment, Cal asked Jack not to touch anything no matter what happened, because they didn't want to draw anyone's attention to them. Then they reached the gate, and Cal used the magic device in his hand, it gives him extra power and enables him to open the gate. He and Jack enter through the gate and into a dark and terrifying house. At that moment, Cal sees the hellhounds guarding Krampus Castle. He takes out a toy chicken from his pocket and tries to turn it into a real chicken to make the dogs run after it. After that, Cal and Jack move towards the castle door, but Jack sees. In front of him is a box full of gold coins. He looks around and takes out his coin from the box. At that moment, the statues in the place make very terrifying sounds. A number of monsters appear. Cal and Jack sense them, but a dog tells them that they are not thieves and that they came to meet Krampus. However, he is shocked when a monster takes out the gold coin from Jack's pocket. After that, the monsters take Cal and Jack and put them in prison. There, Cal blames Jack for what he did, and they think that he told him not to touch anything no matter what. Then Jack tries to justify his position and he tells him that he has a lot of debts. So he yells at him, and they understand that his name being on the troublemakers list is not a coincidence. He tells him that he is the one who got himself into a lot of trouble, and they know that Santa always used to tell him that any decision, big or small, is an opportunity for a person to become good. And he asks him to try to change himself for the better, and then the monsters take him to Krampus, who is having a party and playing a game of hitting the face, and we see Krampus and the monster in front of him hitting him, but he is not affected, and when Krampus hits him, they fly very far away and hit the wall, and at that moment Krampus notices Cal and Jack and asks Cal that he approaches him. But before that, a monster comes and takes the magic device from Cal's hand. After that, Cal informs Krampus that Grilla kidnapped Santa and asks if he was involved with her in what she is doing. Krampus tells him that he has not dealt with Grilla for a long time, and they know that she uses an enchanted ball that he gave her as a gift before, and also tells him that any naughty person who touches this ball will be trapped inside it forever. Cal thanks him for the information and wants to leave to go look for Santa, but Krampus refuses and tells him that he will remain trapped with him forever, and tells Jack that he is allowed to go out to tell Cal's friends, and Santa saves him. So, Jag uses his intelligence and tells Krampus that Cal told him that he can easily beat him in his game, and they know that if Canal loses and lets him go, they will leave the place, and if Canal loses, he will be locked up with him forever. So, Krampus agrees, and Cal stands in front of him. He is nervous because he knows that Krampus is much stronger than him, but Cal gathers all his strength and hits Krampus on the face, but he barely moves his face to the other side, and when it is Krampus' turn, Gigi hits Cal with a strong blow that knocks him to the ground. Then Cal gets up to try again, and then Jack moves quickly and steals the magic device from the monster and fixes it in Cal's hand, and then Cal hits Crumbs hard, and he falls to the ground and throws toy robots on the ground and grows so that they clash with the monsters, and Cal and Jack are able to escape from the castle quickly, and after that they take out a dog who is happy with what Jack did and thanks him for his help. While they are shepherds on their way, they are surprised when they find a piano in the middle of the road. He gets out of the car and writes that there is a gift on the piano with Jack's name written on it. When the dog opens it, he finds the enchanted ball inside. Jack quickly runs away from it so that he doesn't get trapped inside her. At the same moment, Della calls Jack and asks him not to send her any more bad gifts. Jack is surprised and does not understand what Della is saying. So, Dylan shows him the enchanted ball, thinking that he is the one who sent it. He goes to Jack's house and asks him to throw the ball from his hand quickly, but Della gets trapped inside the ball. Jack gets angry with his son and grabs the enchanted ball on the piano and tells Cal that he has to go after his son and describes them. After that, Jack disappears and suddenly Jack finds himself trapped inside the enchanted ball, and it is his son. Dale is trapped inside the ball next to him, and as soon as Grilla sees them, she is very happy because her experiment was successful, and she tells them that they're the first two troublemakers in the world to be punished, and then she gives her orders to her men to make billions of magic balls, and at this time a dog calls Zoe and tells her what happened, and they keep guessing the place where maybe Santa is locked in there, and while they are talking, Santa's wife calls him to check on him and know where he is. So he tells her that he is still looking for Santa and reassures her that he will reach him soon. After Canal ends the call, he informs Zio that the legendary world, remained under the control of Grilla, and that she is definitely hiding Santa there, and he tells her that the one she was talking to a while ago is not Santa's wife, and that someone is impersonating her, and that they want to know if he has reached their location or not yet. After that, Cal and Zio decide that they will go to the legendary world to free Santa and the one with him, and we go back to Jack, who is talking to his son and tells him that he was locked inside the magic ball because he is a failed father and a naughty person, and Bert made many mistakes, so they would like to know if he was locked inside the magic ball because he hacked the school database. So Jack tells him that this is true, and they know that he must change and not repeat this mistake again. They promise that he will also change for the better and be a good father. Then the magic ball breaks, and he gets out of it. This is because they admitted their mistakes and decided not to do them again. Then Cal and Zoe arrive at the place, and it appears that Cal doubts that Jack is not real, but when he talks to him, he confirms that he is really Jack. Then Jack introduces Della to Cal and Zoe. At that moment, Cal tells Dylan that his father told him many good things about him. Then Jack tells them that Grilla made billions of magic balls and tells them that she said that she would distribute. She runs after the naughty children to get rid of them. So they all run quickly to catch up with her, and Santa saves her from her. While they're going out, they hear someone's voice inside the room. When they open the door, they find Garcia and all of Santa's men. So they all come to the room. At this moment, Garcia is getting ready to start her journey, but Calloway says that whoever is with him will arrive to the place, and Grilla complains in a strong battle. But Grilla moves with the sleigh that Santa is on, and with her are all the enchanted balls. So Rico and Jack follow her with all their speed until they are able to get up on top of the refrigerator. But Grilla grabs them and throws them away about it. Jack falls on the reindeer and is able to hold on to the chain that they are tied to. And at that moment, he decides to release the reindeer from the sleigh, and he is able to actually do that. And the reindeer fly in the sky, and the slips fall on the body, and Gryla loses her balance and falls from above the body. And at that moment, Cal runs to Santa and gets out of the capsule that he is trapped in it, and he keeps trying to wake her up until she regains consciousness. But suddenly, Grilla appears to them in her real form, and her appearance is terrifying and her size is huge. But before she attacks them, Krampus arrives and shoots fireballs at her. And then he stands in front of her and asks her to stop what she wants to do, and I tell her that Santa will stay his brother, no matter what problems happen between them. Then Gryla attacks him and hits him hard. At that moment, Nada responds by calling the gazelles, who arrive quickly and attack Gryla and hit him. Gryla falls between the enchanted balls and endures forever, and then Santa thanks Krampus for his help, and Krampus asks him to move quickly so he can distribute Christmas gifts in Beirut. Santa puts on his red suit and starts getting ready to distribute the gifts and thanks Jack and Dylan for their help, and asks them to join him on his journey, and jumps to Santa with the sleigh and circles the globe and distributes gifts to everyone. Children everywhere in the world, Jack and Della, follow what is happening and are amazed. When the day comes, Santa has successfully completed his mission. At that moment, Cal tells him that he has withdrawn his resignation, and they know that he will continue working with him. So Santa Claus asks if he will bring someone to help him. so he stays with Jack. He is very happy with what is happening and tells him that he agrees to be his assistant. After that, they all stand next to Santa, and Santa jumps on his sleigh to return to the mythical world. The movie ends. If you liked the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe.